Hello you guys, this is JV coming at you with another video game review. Today we are reviewing a game, Shadowrun Returns. This game is by Harebrained Studios. It's their first game, so I don't have much background to talk about. These are experienced people though. Some of these people developed the original Shadowrun game. And this was a Kickstarter game originally, or a Kickstarter project I should say. And it reached its goal, and this game looked very interesting from the first time I saw it. I never played the original Shadowrun, but it always intrigued me. The whole sci-fi thing, I've always been a fan of it, and this was no different. And so when I picked this game up, I didn't have very much expectations. But you could say that I had a little bit of expectations. So, I started this game, and I was almost blown away by what I experienced. I experienced a very, very fun game. A very engrossing and capturing experience of a game. And a game that also is very immersive in the way that it's brought to you, and it makes you actually feel like a street samurai or a decker or whatever class you play, which is I think what Harebrained was going for here. So when you start the game, you can make your character by choosing from several races like human, dwarf, elf, and there are a few races that are exclusive to the Shadowrun game's mythos that I'm not completely familiar with. But after that, you choose your class, stuff like decker, street samurai, skill adept, mage, stuff like that, and then you are thrust into the world of Shadowrun, but you have to choose your campaign, which is what I'll get to later. But first, we're just going to talk about the main campaign that was actually made by Harebrained here in this review. Well, that's what we're going to mainly critique the game on, at least. So you start the game and you find out that a longtime friend of yours has died, and basically the entire campaign of this game is figuring out who killed him. That's the setup, and it's pretty good. It's pretty good motivation. It's decent motivation, and this game's very story based, so it works. This game, I would say, is half point and click mystery game and half XCOM Enemy Unknown esque turn-based strategy game. Like when you're just walking around the world and you're not in combat, you can talk to people, get quests, go to places, and buy stuff, do whatever you want. You can also get side quests and stuff like that. But as soon as you need to pull out your gun or start a fight, it goes into a turn-based-esque, very kind of like, it gives you a certain amount of action points, and you spend your action points by moving, shooting, reloading, throwing grenades, using med kits, stuff like that. This works well, and it's very fun. If you liked XCOM Enemy Unknown, you'll love this. It's even a little bit more simple than XCOM Enemy Unknown, but the reason why I think it's more simple is because of the point-and-click mystery kind of element to it, and I think the story is also a big part of this. The story, there's a lot of dialogue, and it's obvious they want you to read a lot. It's a lot like a novel, which I'm going to get to later. It's a lot like a novel. It explains characters' actions, what you're seeing, because the graphics aren't exactly super detailed. It has to explain a little bit of what things look like to you. You still have a basic visual image of what's going on. but it's not completely clear. Um, but the gameplay is excellent. The story is pretty good. Um, but is walking around and talking to people enjoyable? Yes, if you like cyberpunk. If you like cyberpunk, you'll love this. You'll get immersed instantly. You'll get hooked. Um, I was already a fan of games like Deus Ex Human Revolution. So when I started walking around town and talking to people and learning about the different things that are going around, and the different drugs people are getting addicted to and stuff like that, I was immersed. I was hooked, and I kept going and finding people to talk to and trying to get all the quests I could, trying to get as much karma points, which leads me to my next topic. Karma points are your XP points in a way, your experience points, and these work in a way to where it's very Fallout-esque actually, in the way you level up. You don't get a perk perhaps, but you level up your character manually. It doesn't it doesn't force you to level up, which is something that kind of hindered me originally because I didn't know to level up. I thought, oh, I just must need a lot of XP to level up. I didn't know that I actually had to go to my character menu to spend my karma points to level up. So, I guess that could be a complaint, but I mean, once I figured it out the first time, it was never a problem again. But, you do spend these karma points pretty rapidly. You can upgrade your strength. You can upgrade your strength, your health, stuff like that. You can also upgrade very specific stuff, like your proficiency with SMGs, or your proficiency with shotguns, or grenade blast radiuses, your explosives proficiency, stuff like that. And, your charisma, stuff like that, your normal RPG staples. And, um, you you're constantly getting these karma points through the main quests and side quests and all the stuff that you're doing in the game. And uh this game seems to also do breaks very well, like breaks in the combat very well. Because of that kind of, it takes you away from the combat for a little bit to engross you in the world a little more, and then throws you back into combat, and throws you back in the world to get more engrossed, throws you back into combat, kind of that pattern over and over again, and it works because it slowly draws you in more and more until you're hooked. And you have a fully customizable character. That's a plus for me. Um, but this comes to my last point. This feels more like a this feels more like, I guess you could say, a Shadowrun create your own adventure kit than it does a game. That's my only real complaint with this, and it's that it comes with a map editor, which doesn't surprise me. Um, Legend of Grimrock and stuff, games like that also kind of feel like uh, a RPG tabletop choose your own adventure visual aid editor, basically. But is that a bad thing? No, not really. I mean, if you're a fan of the Cyberpunk tabletop or the original game, you'll love this. I think the tabletop fans will be even more happy because they'll be able to, especially the dungeon masters of the original tabletop, because you'll be able to make your own maps and show them to your friends, and it's a really enjoyable experience. I didn't use the map editor too in depth, but I heard it is very easy to use. So it should be pretty entry level kind of stuff. I heard it's easy to use, hard to master. So yeah, so it looks like this um it looks like this game's going to get better with age because of the more campaigns that'll come out and the more content that you'll get from this game. Um, uh, they've made this game almost completely mod friendly. Even in the Harebrained Studios made campaign, there isn't any voice acting, so the mods don't feel out of place, right? So, like in a game like Fallout, when there's a custom modded storyline, there's no voice acting, and it just feels modded. It feels rigged into the game. But with this, it seems like they're trying to make it feel as genuine as the regular experience as possible. So, um, there's very little voice acting, and almost next to none. And there's also very basic puzzles, and it feels like the Harebrained Studios campaign was actually just a tech demo for what the editor could do. It feels like they're almost selling you an editor, but is that a bad thing? No, you're also getting access to all these really cool campaigns and hours of really cool cyberpunk RPG content. So, with all that in mind, I give Shadowrun Returns, I'm giving it a solid 7 out of 10. It's very enjoyable. If you like cyberpunk, you'll like this. If you like Shadowrun, you'll love this. If you're a fan of turn-based RPGs in general, like XCOM, anything like that, you'll also love this. It feels like XCOM Enemy Unknown with more story-based elements, basically, and that is not a bad thing at all. They pulled this off. They pulled this off very well. And like I said, it pulls you in. It engrosses you, and it really immerses you in this whole cyberpunk kind of experience very well. It has a very eerie and creepy mood, and it's just a very good experience all around. I'd recommend this to anyone, and especially to anyone that's even remotely interested in RPGs, and for the low price, I do recommend this game. So 7 out of 10, there you guys go. I will see you guys in the next video.